First, I want to thank you for inviting me. It has been a fiesta to be here, and I feel humbled to be on this stage because I feel what I'm about to tell you is a bit boring compared to what the rest have been telling. But this is what I do like most of the time. And I also have to say to Day, it was touching to hear you tell us what it's like to be an immigrant to search for a job in Norway. It was a bit heartbreaking, and I'm sorry about your experience. Let's see. This is the firm I work at. It's a law firm, a full-service business law firm, and the reason I wanted to join Vanguard, which I joined 2022, was that Vanguard is trying to be a part of the green transition, and the firm wants to be a nice place to work, and they are not struggling to get the maximum profit. So that speaks to me. I don't work to earn the most money. I work to have fun and to develop myself and others and try to make a good change in the world. Let's see. These are the areas of expertise and industries. And I have been asked to talk about the legal framework for social entrepreneurs and social impact projects. And being a lawyer, I like to start with definition about what I'm going to talk about. And I took a look at what the think tank agenda meant about this. And I find that there are 3 categories of social entrepreneurs in Norway. We have the trekkers, in Norwegian sporhunder, which find the gaps in the welfare society's assistance measures and invent completely new solutions. We have the challengers, utfordrerne, which find existing measures do not hit well enough and become a competitor to the existing measures. And then we have the includers, innsluserne, which aim at getting people back or into working life through their organization. And I guess that's where we have Ndei's organization, Jobb med oss, Sammen om en jobb, sammen om en jobb. So we see that there are different sorts of social impact organizations. There are a wide variety of what they want to do, and there are actually no specific regulations on this in Norway. We have the financial market participants. If you have an investment fund that promotes social impact organizations, then you have to report on that. That's what we can file. And also we have the CSRD, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, which has to, where large companies have to report on social impact next year. Our experiences on legal challenges is that social entrepreneurs face the same challenges as other startups. And there are some specific challenges for the social entrepreneurs. The first choice, or the first difficulty, is to choose the right legal entity. And what you should choose depends on the activity you are doing. Depends on whether you want to be a profit or non-profit, what kind of owner's influence you want to have, or the risk you want to take as an owner. And here we made, you can see on the very left is the Norwegian aksjeselskap, limited liability company, which can be both ideal and commercial. You can see 2 examples. You have the Moving Mamas, maybe some of you have heard of them, and Atlas Kompetanse, which are both aksjeselskap. Then next you have samvirkelag, cooperatives. An example is Uloba, which work with assistance for people who are disabled, so that the disabled person can be an employer for his or her own helpers. And then you have the Forening Association. An example is the Red Cross. And in the end, you have stiftelse, the foundation. An example is Hjeltmer, which also is a social entrepreneur. The difference between these sorts of legal entities are how you can influence as an owner. And aksjeselskap, you can own all the shares. In samvirkelag, cooperative, you can have only one. You are just a member, and you have one vote. And then for the association, you have one vote each member. And the foundation, stiftelse, only have, it's self-governed. Self-owned and self-governed. And then, you know, there are two certainties in life, death and taxes. So we'll go with the taxes, as I'm a tax lawyer. And actually for non-profit organizations, you can actually have tax exemption. It's, you need to apply for the tax authorities and you might get a tax exemption. And the volunteers, they can also receive up to Norwegian krone 10,000 tax-free. And then we have some deductions. Who doesn't love a good deduction, tax deduction? For non-profit organizations, you can apply, the organization can apply to gain tax deductibility for donors on gifts over Norwegian krone 500, and also shareholder contributions over 30,000 Norwegian krone until 1 million Norwegian krone in startups newer than 6 years can also be deducted for tax reasons. For VAT, there are normal rules. The threshold is 50,000 Norwegian krone in 1 year in sales of goods and services. And for non-profit, it's 140,000 Norwegian krone. And there are also some services that are exempt VAT, like health services. When it comes to funding, the social entrepreneurs normally need a lot of money. And we can get this through donations if you're lucky, and loans, shareholder contribution, and grants. For donation, it's important to keep track on who has been giving what. Good bookkeeping is always important. For loans, it's important to make good loan agreements with the specified interest rates. When it comes to grants, it's important if you want to apply for a grant from, for instance, NAV, you have to make sure that your legal entity is what NAV is asking for. That is, it has to be a non-profit. That means the owners cannot take out any dividend, and then needs to be registered in Frivillighetsregisteret. Yeah. When it comes to the day-to-day business of a social entrepreneur or social impact company, there's sometimes an issue with the public procurements. The public authority that is about to do a public procurement will not always have a social entrepreneur in mind, so it can be difficult to meet the requirements in the public procurement. My colleagues have been working on this for different social entrepreneur clients and been in contact with the public authorities and trying to tweak and do what they can to change the public procurement so that it also can include social entrepreneurs of different sorts. It's possible to do this before the procurement goes public, not after. We have seen problems for social entrepreneurs with transfer of shares. It's easy to think when you're in a social entrepreneur environment that everybody knows each other, everything goes well, everything is easy, and sometimes you don't keep track of what you're doing. And we have had serious issues with shareholders who have been selling shares to each other without registering this, and that we have had problems later on when we had the capital increase, for instance. So it's important to keep an updated shareholders register. And also we have seen problems with employment, especially in those cases where one tries to get unemployed people into work, or when you want to make people who are out of the working life a part of the working life, and then we see that some have a problem to see whether they have a contractor or an employee. There's a big difference when it comes to salary and taxes and all those things, and also the employer's responsibilities. And we also unfortunately see conflicts between owners and stakeholders and shareholders if it's an aksjeselskap. So our best advice is to make an agreement in peacetime, make a shareholders agreement. That was all I had. It was short and hopefully sweet. And I need to ask you a favor. I'm looking for an iPhone charger. Anyone? No?
I'm pretty sure there are quite a few iPhone chargers.
Yeah. If you have any questions, please come talk to me. Thank you.